Welcome to MSN, the home of the first emojis.
Slamming Artist Podcast. You already know what it is.
Fox News.
Welcome to the final episode of Season 1.
Season 1, completion.
Yeah, we didn't
We didn't set out to do it in seasons,
No.
but it looks like that's what we're doing. So
Yeah,
we'll find out how long this season was, and that'll probably dictate in the future.
yeah. I guess
How long we doing it, like a year?
we started in September 24, so like a year and a bit.
Oh, shit.
So really, we should have
But we've
finished.
not done that many episodes, so if it's like 12 episodes, that's...
Yeah, I think this is episode 16, maybe. So I don't know. We'll just do it year by year. But anyway, this is the end of season 1, and I'll tell you for why. So basically, why did we start this podcast? Well, we're in a band, and we just usually
We
chat.
wanted content.
We wanted content. We wanted content, and we used to come in here at the start of every session and chat about stuff anyway. So we were like, let's.
Yeah, we do like
make-
3-hour sessions when we meet up normally, and the first hour was conversations about the art.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, let's just record that.
Yeah, exactly. But the conclusion that we've come to recently, basically, is that band is gonna come to an end.
Defunct.
Which actually it's a weird thing to say and to think about,
Yeah.
really, because that project has been our entire.
I mean, that's basically what both of us have been known for by everyone that we've met for the past 10 years.
Right, yeah, literally.
I went to a funeral sort of latter end of last year. Everyone there was just asking, "Oh, you're still doing music? And you're still in the band? How's Strangers going?" So running into people from school, it will be weird being like, "No, we don't do that anymore."
Yeah.
But
It's also been if you think creatively, it's been pretty much our entire creative output, apart from odd things that we've done for other people, or since we started doing the pod or whatever. It's been our life's work.
I mean, it's
creatively.
been a weekly thing that we've done for 10 years.
Yeah, literally, mate. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
We did say that we were going to give ourselves 10 years.
That's the thing. And that is why we've decided to call it quits, because we said when it was just us two in a room before we became a 3-piece and then a 4-piece and then a 5-piece, then back down to 4, then back down to 3, and then back down to 2. After a brief period of being a 3-piece that changed 3s. After all of that, we've decided... We said 10 years when it was just us two in a room. It's us two in a room now, and it's been 10 years.
Yeah, and also...
So, stick to your word.
Yeah, and also it's worth saying, if we'd have become successful, we wouldn't have ended it at 10 years.
No, exactly.
But basically, we had 10 years to become...
Yeah, well,
to make this our career,
10 years
essentially.
until Glastonbury, and we didn't get an invite this year. so it's not happening. But do you know what? It's so I know that you don't watch wrestling. I know that I've talked about it sometimes on the pod before now. I'm pretty sure I wore a CM Punk t-shirt last week, so it's known, you know.
Yeah.
One thing that always really pissed me off was when wrestlers would have a retirement match where they go, if I lose this match, I'll never step in a fucking WWE ring again.
Right, yeah.
And then a few years later, they get a call from the Saudis and they're doing a tag team match. Shawn Michaels looking at you, G, you know what I mean? Or Ric Flair, this is my last match ever. And it's this beautiful emotional moment. And then a few months later, he's wrestling on TNA. Fucking John Cena's just retired now. And he said, this is my last year. Once I hit this final date, that's my last one. If he comes back...
Yeah.
As much as I'd love to see it, I'll be fucking fuming with him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like that mentality has dragged across.
I feel like things... It's nice to put a full stop on things sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think also what we realised maybe a good year or so now is that pretty much when we reissued all of our older shit, that the journey from what we started as to now is the expression. It's not just about this song or this album or whatever. And I think to be able to say, okay, we started here and we didn't just fizzle out, which I guess we have off, but to say this is going to be
we put a date on it and we've stuck to it.
To be this is the definitive point where we're ending it. And also with songs, there's going to be 2 more songs that come out, and it's we're going to end it with, and the last song definitely feels the
ending
conclusion.
stuff with a goodbye, I feel is nice to do.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's because it's one of them most bands that we see from this area that came up at the same time as us, you find out months after them breaking up that they broke up. There's no goodbye. There's maybe a Facebook post, and that's it.
Yeah, they just sort of disappear.
I don't know. It's sad to see it go like that. Like, we've spent 10 years on the thing. I want to at least say goodbye to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I also kind of want to be able to look back on it as like a finished piece of work. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to be this open-ended thing. I want it to be like, okay, we started here, we finished here, we achieved all this in the middle.
There'll be no what could have been.
Yeah, exactly.
We just did, and then
Yeah, and I think I guess if we look at it kind of realistically, this has been what the conclusion's going to be for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we I guess, I don't know, man, like, things obviously changed around COVID, and we sort of had to like halt any momentum we had beforehand, and then like, you know, we had a bit of success, but then Jamie left the band, and like, it's been like this, maybe not, maybe, you know, like.
Yeah, and it's one of them as well where we're at a point in life where like the time dedication required to get Strangers as it is to the point where we would have wanted it to be, it's just not
feasible
anymore.
When we were like, we started this when, what would we have been, like 16 or something?
16 we
like,
were, 16, 17.
16, 17. So like, especially for the first maybe like 5 years, we were like seeing each other like 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah, long sessions
for like 3 or 4
well.
hours at a time. Like, and we dedicated so much time to it. And obviously, as you get older, like, things get in the way.
Yeah,
you know,
we said, didn't we, like 10 years from this point, because when you get to 27, 28, you're starting to reach that point where you're getting less and less marketable.
Yeah,
it's just harder to get picked up. You know what I mean?
That is true. Yeah, and
but
I think
also we've got a level of acceptance over the point where we're at with it, where I feel like if this was 5 years ago, we wouldn't have, because there's still so much room to
exactly.
keep going.
And I think it's not even necessarily like we gave it our all to some degree, but I also think in the bits where I'm very aware of like where we could have done things differently, but I'm kind of at peace with that, because like those are lessons that you only learn like in hindsight by like going through certain things, and there's like avenues where I'm like, oh, maybe if we'd have just done that differently, it would have
and
taken us.
Those like, I don't know, revelations, would that be the word?
Yeah.
Like, they will bleed over into other creative projects that we've got.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? It's like the whole thing really now in retrospect feels like this workshop for our abilities in a lot of different fields, like which then has bled over into our actual lives. Like, you go on cruise ships and play music now for money. You know what I mean? Like, I might have a job lined up for a fucking music production software company, doing graphic design, and which is shit that I've done for us. You know what I mean? So like, it's not like it's been wasted time. It's just
no, for sure. And also, like, it's been, I think, because we have like become such good friends from it, like, realistically, because we spent so much time with each other over the years, and I include Jamie in this as well, like we include Jamie in this as well. It's not like some bands are together when they rehearse and together when they gig and stuff, but like, they've reached a point probably around the pandemic actually when we couldn't do as much band stuff, where whenever we could, we'd still like just jump on a Zoom and just fucking chat for 2 hours, or like we'd start going out and like actually hanging out with each other, which is something that
we never did
in the early days.
Working relationship, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
but when you think about it, was it because like we locked ourselves in this room for 9 hours a week where we could do anything that we wanted, and we used a lot of that time to play music, but let's not pretend that's the only thing we did in there. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, there was an awful lot of like fucking around, and I think from the age, like doing that from that age, you know, and I know Jamie was sort of absent for the first year and has been absent for the last like 2 years, year and a half, whatever. But like, that time that we spent together is such like a formative like period of time in your life anyway. And I think to do it in the way that we did it, it's like completely shaped who we
do you
are.
know, sometimes being in a band is less about trying to make it big and this and that, and it feels like that at the time, but a big part of it, I think, is just having a well-spent youth.
Yeah, literally,
like,
mate. Yeah.
Those memories in the upstairs of that fucking pub
Yeah.
is what my teenage years feel like when I look back on them now.
Yeah.
Which is great because I'm always going to have that. Like, I'll be 70 years old talking about when I was upstairs at the Elephant fucking
Yeah.
crawling around and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe the real band was the friends we made along the way.
There you go.
But like,
Stay hungry, guys.
imagine it's like just 5-minute episode. But no, you are completely right and stuff, and I think we're very lucky to have. And I don't know why it was, because there's plenty of bands that don't have that kind of like friendship and stuff. But there was definitely a point where I realized, oh, like these guys are more my friends than my bandmates, and therefore like they matter more than the band. Like when Jamie was like after COVID, when Jamie was like, look, I've had a fucking shit 2 years. I want to go do this gap year in Germany. I was like, that fucking sucks, because like that means we can't do stuff for like a year, and we're going to have to like work remotely and stuff like that, and he's only going to be home every now and again. And it did upset me, but at the end of the day I was like, but you're one of my best friends, so if you need to do this, you need to go do this. You know what I mean? And I think it's great that we've always had like that sort of friendship. And like you say, like some of the memories that we've fucking had were like the sickest times. And also that's like, I guess that's partly what prompted me to think about the end of it, because it's like I found myself just walking around town listening to Stranger songs and thinking about the old days and being like, this is so far removed from what that was.
Yeah,
you know
like,
what I mean? Like,
it doesn't feel like the same kind of memories are getting made anymore. It started to feel more like a sort of conveyor belt than a
there was
fun musical time, which ultimately will make the music suffer as well. And I think it's almost a shame, because the two songs that we got coming out, I'd argue, are some of our best songs.
For sure.
But also it is coming from this emotional place of closure to an extent.
Yeah.
So that, like, probably is why those songs feel like that a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you can't replicate that by then doing it again afterwards.
No.
Goes back to the wrestling thing. I'm sorry, I love you, crying his eyes out, waiting for a fucking kick to the head because you got to put Old Yeller down. That feels less good when you watch his match in TNA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That said, if in a few years Jamie lives in this country again and we fancy having a chat, we'll probably do a gig or something. But no, like, to be honest, it was difficult for me. Like, I think, obviously, because we first spoke about this idea of like ending it probably about 2-3 months ago now.
Yeah.
But I think it was difficult. I can't remember when we had that conversation. Did you say it or did I say it? Because I think I was thinking about it, and then because we were talking about like other musical projects and other stuff. Like I can't remember how we got to that conclusion, but like it was difficult for me to reconcile that thought in my head, because especially as like, I don't know if it's because I was always like the front man or like the guy that started it, or I think I was always the guy that was like, okay, boys, come on, let's do this. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it came from us sort of being like, there's other things that we want to do that we can't do if we do this.
Yeah, exactly.
And unfortunately, we can't talk too deeply about what that is.
Yeah.
But, you know,
shut up. I think but no, I think it was really difficult for me because like it was such a part of my identity.
Yeah.
Like, I guess not since maybe like 2022, 23, it has been increasingly less so each year, because I sort of realised like, oh, I need to be more dimensional than just the guy from Strangers.
Well, do you know, a big part of it as well is like, since we don't have Jamie anymore and we don't have a drummer anymore, and since our production style has changed over the past like couple of years since that, like we've not done a gig since, because ultimately it feels a little bit like every time we try live performances for the band that we've got now just don't feel like they work. Like,
no, it's so difficult.
It's difficult. It's not something that we find fun. when we try and practice for live stuff, and so that's I think a big part of why we've not done a Strangers gig since. We probably could have, but we've not, because it stopped being enjoyable. And I think that as soon as that starts happening with creative shit, it's done.
Yeah, we sort of got like stuck in this position where like we hadn't gigged in so long, and our sound had changed so much, and not having a drummer, where it was like, it's going to take us fucking 6 months of rehearsal to get like a gig ready.
The technology wasn't keeping up with what we wanted to do
and
either, and it just felt like it was going to be more effort than it was worth on the enjoyability scale.
Yeah, because also we'd come in here and we'd be like, okay, well, like we want to make new music and put that out, and we enjoyed that expression more than having to like slog for 6 months trying to learn how to make Ableton work.
Yeah, trying to learn how to perform a 100% live song with 2 electronic. Like, it just, I don't know. The entire back catalogue was basically thrown out on us. We had to then produce a whole new album that we'd then have to learn how to play, and the album didn't even do that well. So it's one of them where it's like, oh, you know what?
Like, there was no audience for it. So it's like, why are we?
I mean, I don't even really listen to those songs that we put out in that collection anymore.
Like, you know what's
we got bored of our own music,
literally,
and so when that happens, like, just enjoy the memories that you've made whilst making that fucking music, and call it a day.
I think it's a shame, because a lot of things caused us to stagnate, and that is ultimately what I think led to a sort of decrease in enjoyment. Like,
we fell out of love with Strangers.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like we fell out of love with making music or even working with each other by any means, but like, we spent so long like trying to shop those songs around and get management and stuff, and like we just didn't put anything out for ages, and we didn't gig for ages, and it just stalled the whole momentum. And again, I guess that's one of those things that like I say, looking back on it, you'd probably do things differently, and maybe do it. Maybe like at post-COVID, I just would have tried to go back to what we were doing a bit more before COVID, which was the whole like gig release method, and also try and get management on top of that. But as we got older, it got difficult to split our time. So it was like, okay, we either have to gig or release.
Most weeks I work 6 days a week, starting at 11 and finishing at 9:30.
Yeah.
So it has become very difficult to sort of do, you know, the idea of 2 sessions a week where then you do a gig on the weekend. It's like, well, I work on fucking weekends. I don't work sociable hours, you know.
And like, I've started gigging on weekends, and that's my job now, you know what I mean?
It's like, unless we were going to become an entirely online entity,
which we have done.
It wasn't going to work. And the thing is that Strangers in its current form doesn't work as a purely online entity.
No. And I think
hands forced, innit?
Yeah. I think, like you're saying as well, like, it changed so much from what it used to be creatively. Like, the process of us making these more recent songs on a more 50-50 basis has been really cool, you know what I mean? And, like, I've enjoyed that part of it, but, like, that's a different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like what Strangers used to sound like.
Strangers is the 3 of us, and it stopped being the 3 of us, and we let it live on life support for like a few years, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think really it was only because we were like, okay, well, we need to like try and make it. You know what I mean? We've got these songs and we want to get signed and all this
we
shit.
Had
like,
still a back catalogue of stuff that wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
Which is now out.
And also the momentum that we'd built up a bit by putting Predator out and stuff.
Yeah, it was like right at the peak of like our most popular that we've ever been that this all sort of happened, which is a bit of a shame. But like, I don't know, I think I've lost my train of thought,
well,
I'm not going to lie.
You know what's hard as well is like it's that thing of the friendship versus the band. It's like, realistically, like as a business and as a creative force, like Jabsy's personal decisions did kind of fuck us, right? Like, like he has kind of like, he did kill this band, but it just took us an extra 2 years.
We've been
to
doing
accept
CPR
it.
on it the whole time since, but he did stab it directly in the stomach.
Beating this dead horse for the past 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But like, he wanted to go do that year abroad, and I said to him, well, you better come back though. And he came back for a year,
Yeah.
and then was like, yeah, I'm not happy, I'm leaving again.
Yeah.
So we wasted a year there
Yeah.
already, you know what I mean? And that's also a difficult thing, because like I say, my identity had been so wrapped up in the band.
Yeah.
But also, like, this is one of my best friends. So, like, he's making his best life decisions, but they directly negatively
Yeah.
impact me. So I'm like, well, I'm happy for you doing your thing because you're one of my best friends, but also, you're one of my best friends. Like,
Yeah. How could you do
what are you
this to
doing?
me?
You know what I mean? And, like, that's difficult, you know what I mean? And I don't think I've ever actually had that conversation with him. Maybe I
Of course you
should.
have.
You know what I mean?
You've had that conversation loads of times in
Well,
front of me.
No, but
Every time we've been a pub with the lad since he's like gone and come back for Christmas or whatever, it gets brought up briefly.
Yeah, it gets brought up, but this is the problem. This is what's difficult about like the way our friendship's set up, and I
Yeah.
think this is true of a lot of like dudes. Is like I go, shut the fuck up, lad. You ruined the band, and then we like laugh about it and move on. You know what I mean? And it's like that is like my inner anger, just like slowly coming out as a joke. But also, I should probably sit down to him and go, hey, you did this thing that really hurt me once. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we should probably talk about it as
He
friends.
knows. He knows.
But he's not apologised for it.
No, he never will. I wouldn't want him to. It'd be horribly uncomfortable.
I know. It's difficult, isn't it? It's very difficult.
And ultimately, he's done it so that he can essentially try and start a family. The lad's just got
Yeah.
engaged, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
I can't
exactly.
fault it.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
like at the time, I think because this is difficult, right? Like trying to do this is difficult, and I understand why he was
Yeah.
like, look, like this is ruining my enjoyment of music. I don't think I want to do this as my thing, because like, why the fuck would you? You'd have to be insane to do
I
this.
think that we thought that we were the beating heart of strangers more than we were as well.
When he left,
Yeah, like obviously because it started as me and you,
Yeah.
and then we had like quite a few other band members that joined me and you and
Yeah.
would leave, and then we got Jamie, and then it was the three of
it
us.
only found its feet when it got Jamie.
Yeah, and when we got Jamie, that's when musically as well we started to like step up a level. Like the production in the studio stepped up a level. He wasn't necessarily here for all the studio sessions, but it was that
Yeah.
kind of the three of us made this thing that actually, and there's metrics to prove it, did better than what we were doing before, you know what I mean? But then I think that we thought, well, Stranger started with the two of us,
Yeah, we can just carry that.
so
on.
we can just carry it on. But like, there was an element that got brought in that when it got taken away, kind of,
Yeah.
it's like the cladding on the side of a building, you know what I mean? Like, yes, the building can stay standing without all of that,
Yeah.
but it's not a proper fucking building, is it? It's got
Yeah.
no walls. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a load
Yeah.
of scaffold, and you can't live in that.
Yeah, and I think it took us so long, like I say, with these more recent tunes that we've made that are going to come out
Yeah.
in the next couple of months. I think we did find our way of working, but it took us like a year to readjust. Of like, okay, well, how do we make music now? Like, because before it was like, it wasn't necessarily split equally three ways. It was maybe slightly more like I would make a thing and then we would all like work on it
Yeah.
together. But then I was like, well, that feels less equal now if I make a thing and then you just do some bits on the end. It's like, it
Then
took us
what
like,
am I doing?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
yeah.
Like it took us a year to be like, oh, we need to just start things from scratch together. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's been a crazy time, and lessons have been learnt, but that is life, innit? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you can look
This
back and
isn't
say,
the
oh, like,
end of Liam and Sean, though.
oh no,
Like,
well, we're still gonna do this podcast for a
well,
start.
yeah. The second announcement: this podcast is moving home.
Well, yes, exactly. So this will now have its own YouTube channel, which I'll put in the link of this this YouTube video. Of
Hungry Boys Are Us.
if you-
.co.uk.
or if you're on Spotify, I'll put it in like the episode description or whatever. And we're going to keep doing this podcast, and I think with more structure and focus
Yeah.
and force, and now that we're not...
Guests and topics.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
A proper podcast.
Yeah, basically, not just us like waffling for an hour.
Aimlessly, yeah.
And I think like one of the things I realised at the back end of last year, like I'm doing too many creative things and not putting enough effort into any of them because I'm doing too many. So I've heavily cut that down, and the podcast is something that I want to focus on this year. So I'm going to be a lot more on my shit organisationally. And Sean is always going to be here for the bants, you know what I mean?
I'll be around.
And the fucking...
You'll see me.
The in-depth discussion, you know what I mean? You know, one of us has to have a beard.
Exactly.
Exactly, you know what I mean? If it was just me...
No beard.
Where's the beard coming from? So, yeah, but there's going to be... I think we mentioned on the last episode, there's going to be, like, guests, you know, more thought-out episodes, more regular episodes, I would think. My goal is to do one a month.
Yeah.
And I would like to probably drop it on like a structured day, like the fucking first of every month or something. Yeah. And then maybe one day a bit more than that, you know, if people start watching it. So share it and show it to your mates and stuff. So like I say, strangers, rip.
Donners. It's Buzz Bingo that killed it. I mean, fuck. Probably bleep that, you know.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We had that conversation before you even started working at the Bingo, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Probably shouldn't have talked about that other thing.
What other thing?
Music production software.
Oh, right, yeah.
Anthony's not listening to this.
Yeah, it's fine. So, yeah, that's... But you've not heard the last of Liam and Sean. I'm sure we'll get around to doing something in the future.
Can't get shut of me.
No, I've been trying for years.
True.
This podcast obviously will continue on its new home. There's also new socials for it all, which I will put in the description. I think it's The Starving Artists Pod on Instagram and TikTok for all of your clips. Your clip needs, you know.
Clip that.
Yeah, if you don't like podcasts, but you still want to see our face, you can watch it in like 1 minute bursts.
If you've only got the capacity for short form video, boy, do I have news for you.
You can watch 61-minute clips from a variety of episodes, because I'm putting all of the old clips on there as well currently. So what else is going on? What else do we have to talk about? Oh, so new Stranger songs.
Yes.
The final Stranger songs. There's no release date of...
No, because they're not done.
Because they're not done. One is more done than the other, and unfortunately it's the one that's coming out second. So I need to get my ass in gear and write those lyrics for the other one, and then it'll be out pretty quick time. I'm guessing the first one will probably come out in March. I think I can get one done by March.
It might.
It's not like we have to do a huge rollout, you know what I mean? It's the end. Like,
we'll do what we want. What are you going to do? Fucking fire us.
Yeah, one will come out in March and the other one will come out not long after that. Yeah. And there probably won't be a music video for either of them, but we'll make it. We'll make a nice artwork. I got a Strangers tattoo actually a few weeks ago, so
clever of him.
We'll take that. We'll take a photo of that. That could be the artwork. There you go. So
there we go. Yeah.
That could be the final one.
Fantastic news.
Yeah, shows my dedication to the memes of the band. It's the Strangers tattoo, you know.
I don't have one. I'll probably get one.
He'd rather forget. Yeah. I'd rather forget.
Yeah, I'm just going to drown it all in the bottom of a bottle. Wash it down with brown.
So, what else is going on? Any more thoughts on the death of a passion project before we move on to other topics? Because like I say, that has been like...
I mean, it's something that a lot of people can probably relate to. Most bands break up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I suppose... if you're in a band that has broken up or is in the process of breaking up, or even if you're in a band that you're trying to make it but the odds are stacked against you, just enjoy it for what it is at the time as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Obviously, a big part of that enjoyment for us was this, us against the world, band of brothers, we're going to fucking take over, all that sort of shit. Yeah. And that does bring an air of energy into the room, but if that doesn't happen, don't get your fucking heart broken over it. Just enjoy it for what it is / was, because that's what you take away with you in the end.
Well, yeah, that is true, actually. I think when we look back on it, it's not like we're going to think, oh, that was a dead difficult thing.
What a waste of time that was.
Yeah.
Like, it's formed our youth.
Yeah, literally.
It's formed our identity. It's, it's been a good thing regardless of the end result.
Yeah.
And I think things like this normally are. I think that oftentimes it won't be for people if they are too hung up on the I don't know, industry side of it in a way. Like,
yeah.
if the whole thing is make it, like, what happens when you make it? You're just a load of guys who don't like each other who have to fucking do gigs all the time.
Yeah.
Like, being a touring musician's fucking hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So make sure that you're doing it with people that if it doesn't work out, you'll still go to each other's wedding at the end of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think arguably the most fun times for us were when we weren't trying as hard. You know what I mean? Like when we just fucking rehearse and write tunes and like fuck about and do gigs and stuff, and we weren't thinking like, oh, this next tune has to be the one that gets.
And also
signed
the
or
most success that we've had has been when we've just been having fun doing it.
Yeah.
So just have fun.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, at least you had fun.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to fake it. You know what I mean? When something becomes inorganic, you do sort of lose the heart of it a little bit because you're doing it for an ulterior motive. Whereas like the best shit that we did and the shit that went down the most and the stuff that we had the most fun doing was like just when we were doing it because it was fun. Yeah, exactly. It was like in the moment what we wanted to do. You know. How long have we been rolling for? 34 minutes.
Jesus Christ. Well, we had one topic. And it was that. So I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Well, you have started writing.
Yeah. I'm starting to try and write a show. I wrote my first scene with dialogue.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's so hard. It's so hard. 'Cause I showed it to Heather, and so the lead character, he's like a 50-year-old man, right? And I showed it to her, and the first thing she said is, "He sounds too much like you." Like, he doesn't sound like a 50-year-old man from 2002 is when it starts.
Right.
So I won't get into it too much because obviously I've only wrote one fucking scene.
Yeah.
But it's an animation, and what I want for this animation is for it to be essentially the only animation in the world where, well, as of yet, where the characters age as the show goes on. Every season will be the next year.
Right. Yeah.
And slowly over time, we'll see these characters developing in their personality, but also physical appearance. Like, it's about the main character. So there's 3 main characters in it. There's a 50-year-old man, and he's trying to get ready for retirement, basically. He wants to retire when he's 60. So 10 seasons. And so this, again, I wanted to talk about, like, the benefit of long-term storytelling.
Right.
Like, I think that's a little bit lost. Everything's very episodic. Everything's very doof. I love it when there's a long fucking development where it takes ages to get to the point. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's about his retirement. He wants to give his daughter the business. And that sounds disgusting. And it's about her sort of, you know, coming of age to an extent, but coming into a sort of more leadership kind of role. Yeah. And then there's a third character that's like a sort of, you know, not related to either of them. He comes in like as an apprentice kind of thing. And it's his journey into manhood, basically, becoming, you know, going from being a dosser who doesn't want to work. He's just a young lad, very, you know, very relatable. And then kind of becoming someone who can stand on his own 2 feet kind of thing. Yeah. So, yeah, there's not that much of it written yet. But one thing that I have consciously been trying to do is come up with the plot of from season 1 to season 10 and what I want each season to kind of represent on that journey first before I get into writing scene by scene. What are we going to do kind of thing.
How has it been? Obviously, you know, we just spent the past half an hour talking about like the end of one project. I know there's overlap because you've had this idea for a while, but how has it been doing something like starting to dip your toes into something that's so different to anything that we've ever done?
Exciting, but also kind of sometimes quite complicated. Sometimes I'll be stood there pacing up and down in the room being like, what the fuck is season 7 going to be about, though? You know what I mean? Which is not, I don't think that's a common problem for a lot of people who try and write like TV and stuff. Like being like, what's season 8 going to be about when they've not even wrote the full dialogue for the first scene of season 1? But like, I think that, I don't know, that's for me where the beauty of this show will come from, is the fact that, so say one thing that bothered me with Stranger Things bothered a lot of people is that there was shit that they set up in season 1 that they didn't pay off in season 5.
Mm-hmm.
So before I write anything in season 5, I want the final episode of season 10 written.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to write the first episode, and then I want to write the last episode,
And then fill it in.
and then I want to fill in the blanks.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's difficult, I think, when you
But
do.
this is also 10 seasons of 10 episodes each of which is like half an hour long. So,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
it'll be a fucking while.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what I
a
mean?
long ass project.
Yeah.
I
But
think
that's what I like. I like getting stuck into fucking big, complicated shit. You know what I mean?
it's difficult, I think, when you're so used to working in one medium that like you know that you can come in here and we can make something, and like that feels comfortable,
Yeah.
and there's a sort of natural thing where something can flow out of you in it.
Yeah.
But with this, it's so different, and you almost have to accept that like you're gonna be shit when you start it.
And
You
it
know what I
like
mean?
fucking so say the 3 main characters, only one of them has been drawn. It's an animated show. Only one of them has been drawn. We've drawn other versions of the other 2, but I'm not a fucking cartoonist.
Yeah, right.
So I'd say that's been the hardest part, is like trying to come up with a design to match the character, but then also trying to draw characters and then kind of come up with a personality for them, kind
Yeah.
of thing. You
And
know?
then it's difficult to write in someone else's voice, really.
Yeah,
I
it's so
think
hard.
because like so when
I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna write this girl.
So we were.
I don't-
you need to meet a girl. You talk to a girl.
Well,
When we did like fucking niche reference that we've never really talked about on the pod, there was a Strangers short film getting made years ago,
Oh, the dialogue on that.
and well, so this is the thing. Like, Paul wrote the script for that, right? Who was a friend of the band, and I was gonna be in it. And when he cast, like, he sent me the script, and I was like, oh yeah, this is like the story. I feel like, because it was based on our music,
Yeah.
I feel like I could play that character. So I auditioned for it, and he gave me the part. And then I said, there's some things in this that, while emotionally are kind of how I would be, doesn't sound like, it's not how I would speak. It's not how
Yeah.
people would speak sometimes. You know what I mean? So like, can we do some revisions? So I helped him do some revisions to it, right? And I thought, oh, that's fine, right? That's not too difficult.
To say it out loud.
Well, no, yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
oh, I'd never say that.
No, that's not even too difficult, right? But in lockdown, I started writing a film, and I wrote the whole story out in sort of beats, right? Because I had seen a thing of Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg where they had a big like flip chart, and it was all of the beats to Hot Fuzz.
That's
And they were
exactly what my shit's like. I've got
this
a
is what's
file
going to
that's
happen.
like,
and yeah, exactly. And then
paint by numbers, isn't it?
yeah, and then I was like, okay, and then I'll just go back in and I'll write each scene for each beat. You know what I mean? So the story bit was fine, and at the time I thought the script bit was fine when I started writing
Yeah.
the scenes, but then I sort of went off the project, and then I found it like a year or two later and started reading through some of the scenes I'd written. And I was like, oh my god, like,
like-
nobody talks like that. It was so much easier doing the thing with Paul's stuff because like he'd already written it, and all I had to do was tweak it to be how I would say it,
Yeah.
and it was a character that I had a lot of affinity for. Whereas this is like completely trying to write as someone else in a way that people speak, which is really,
yeah.
it's weirdly difficult to
Well,
make it sound
also,
natural, isn't it?
like when I'm writing for this character, he's 50 years old, but also like voice acting wise, I'm probably going to be the one to do it. So it's also like I've got to write it in a way that I can say in his actual voice, which is, it adds a whole other element to it, because there's something where I would naturally say it. Maybe his name's Peter. Maybe Peter would naturally say it, but my voice doing an impression of Peter's voice
Right,
doesn't
yeah.
sound right with that dialogue. You know?
What? I think your strengths lie with stuff like that in a degree of improv.
Yeah.
Like I think it's not a bad shout to just hit record on your phone
And just start.
walk around the room and like a fucking crazy person
But, like,
and just start saying things
that's
as
true,
him. You know what I mean?
Because the thing
Like,
is, I'll
play
be
the
voicing
scene out.
nearly every character, but like, so I'd have to jump back and two
Yeah.
between like,
But just play the, because also I think you'll get some really funny bits from that as well, because like that, or like even meaningful bits, because you do that anyway.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
true.
mean?
I
Like,
do that all
you
the
do
time.
have that kind of madness.
I mean, there's moments in the show where it's not like a particularly important story beat or whatever, but there's another character called Simon, and he's like more the sort of comic relief of the thing.
Mhm.
And a lot of his shit has been done like in the house, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. One thing I'm noticing is some characters come really fucking naturally.
Right.
Others really don't. Like,
Do you think that's because of like your relatability to that character?
I have nothing in common with Simon,
Right.
but I find him hilarious. If it's funny, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't know if it's an emotion that I can sort of resonate with. It's a lot easier. Like in the first scene, he's kind of stressed. I'm stressed quite a lot, so like it was quite easy. Whereas like I don't know, other characters where like say the younger lad, the apprentice who'll come on, his relationship with his dad is going to be a really big thing.
Mhm.
But my relationship with my dad's fine.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like he lives with his mum and dad, and it's the sort of the tension of like you should really be fucking standing on your own 2 feet by now. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna go and get you a job because you're not going and getting one yourself, kind of thing. And to be fair, that's how I got my first job. It was quite young.
Right.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? But like it was never from this like really strict place. It was more like, oh, your cousin's got you a job at the Everglades.
Right.
I went, okay. You know what I mean?
Is that your
Where-
first job? Yeah.
I'd
mad,
done a little bit of the NHS before
Ah,
that,
right,
but
yeah.
nothing like proper. That was my first proper job.
Yeah.
But like, I think I don't know, that sort of home relationship with the 2 parents. Like my parents have been split up since I was 2 or 3 years old. I've never remembered them being together. So I'm kind of, I don't really know how to start writing that family dynamic because that's not something I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
But I know that I need to do it because it's what the character needs.
Mhm.
And it's most people's experience of life. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I can't write everything through my own lens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So writing stuff that is through a totally different set of eyes, that's really hard. Like writing a girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A girl who's going to take over a dad's business. It's like,
Yeah. So far,
I don't fucking
not
know
what
anything
you-
about
yeah,
that. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of the shows about like fatherhood to an extent. I'm not a dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think it's gonna make for a sort of cool experience and evolution for you, both personally and creatively, to sort of have to delve into these different
Step
facets
into
of
other
life.
people's feet, isn't
Yeah,
it? It's like,
exactly.
okay, what is it like to speak as a mother to a son who's not doing enough with his life?
Yeah.
Like, I've never had to think about that before.
Yeah.
But give it a go, innit? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Did your mum, just like slightly off topic, but also
Yeah.
like swinging back to what we were talking about before with the band and stuff, like, do you think your mum ever worried about the fact that we like spent so much time doing the band and stuff like that?
No, she knew that I was enjoying myself. My parents have always both been very kind of,
You do you kind of thing.
yeah, of the opinion of like, if it's what you enjoy, then pursue it as heavily as you can.
Mm.
Like,
That's class.
I think arguably they've never said as much, and I don't think they've even really thought as much, but like, if I could have put more into it, I think they'd have liked to see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like my dad, whenever he dropped me off at my mum's, he'd spend like an hour in the car talking to me about, listen, your dad fucking hates his job. Like, do something that doesn't feel like work, because then you never have to work a day in your life.
That's
And I was
class.
like,
That's
that's a really good opinion to have. With my mum, her thing was more when she came to like do her options in school, she was really into art.
Mhm.
And one of her teachers told her that artists don't make any money. So she did something else instead. Don't even know what it was. I don't think she even knows what she picked instead, but she regrets it because she'd have loved to be, like, she's really good at fucking drawing.
Yeah.
She's really good at drawing. But she never does it because she's busy working in an office.
Yeah.
Because she never pursued it because someone told her, well, you'll never be able to do that. So one thing that she always said to me was like, don't fucking listen to no cunt telling you that you can't because other people have done it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy it, then do it anyway. You know what I mean?
Tough.
So yeah, they've always been like supportive with that.
And I think to bring it all full circle, really, that is something that we didn't talk about when we were talking about the band before, is the fact that, like, what a fucking privilege to be able to
been able to try.
Yeah, because most people's parents would not support them to the level
that ours
that ours
Your
did.
dad's been the most supportive out of any of them.
Yeah,
because he took us to nearly every fucking gig.
Yeah. Because when we started, obviously I couldn't drive and stuff. So my dad would like drive us to fucking Sheffield in the snow or whatever.
Yeah, like dangerous drives and shit as well. Like he really supported us.
Yeah.
So say like for my mum, for example, when I started doing music at college, because I'd already been college once before it, doing graphic design and IT. Graphic design I enjoyed, but I didn't enjoy like the academics of it. IT I fucking hated. And I don't know, my attendance wasn't great. My grades weren't amazing. Just the level of effort I was putting in wasn't really there. I was also a bit immature, you know what I mean? I was like, going out and stuff. So, that'll affect your grades, like, you know what I mean? But when I got to college and I started getting really good grades in, she took me to Dawson's. She was like, I'm buying you a bass and it's going to be your first ever, and still is my only, first-hand
good one.
fucking bass, first-hand instrument. It's the only first-hand bit of gear that I own still.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to show approval of the fact that, like, no, I can see that what you're doing here matters to you because you're actually, for the first time in your life, trying at something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's very sick.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Yeah, that is good. We've we got very lucky, I think.
Did.
So shouts to our parents, I guess.
Big ups.
Sorry if we ever worried you along the way, but we've been trying. We've been out here.
I don't think they've ever been worried, though, because I think they've always been able to see the enjoyment. Like, my dad always tells me about that first gig where we met, like, how proud he was to see me get up on a stage in front of people and do that.
Yeah.
Because before that, I was a shy kid,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was so shy. I got, like, a little bit picked on in primary school and stuff. I was dead quiet. I was dead, like, if me dad ran into a friend in the shops, I'd, like, hide behind his leg and shit, you know what I mean? I was proper the shyest kid.
Yeah.
And in his eyes, and in my own eyes, I still was until that. And then I got up in front of everyone, did something that I enjoyed, didn't care what anyone thought about it, and came away from it. And he was like, mate, I'd have never fucking done that. Like, that took balls that I don't have. And I was like 14, and he was like 40. You know what I mean? He's like, you've been not more of a man than I, you know what I mean? But that's took a level of confidence that no one else in the family has ever fucking expressed that they've got.
Yeah.
And it's come from the least likely member of the family. So, like, the support that he had in it after that, because he could see, like, no, this is your coming out of your shell. This is you becoming who you actually are. And it was, like, I'd have been a different person if it wasn't for all this music shit, regardless of what happens after this now. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm one of the most confident people that I know. Yeah. And that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the band. My job is to stand up in front of people, announcing games and reading fucking numbers and this, that, and the other. Everyone else in that building, if I'm ill, I have to go in anyway because no one else will do my job. No one else will cover it because they're too afraid of the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I didn't really think about it, right? Because obviously it's something that we've always done since that age. But, like, when I did the first gig back that I did sort of after lockdown, I did like an acoustic thing, that one that you and Jamie came to in EBGBs, and Abby hadn't seen me play live, and she brought her family and stuff, and they hadn't seen me before because they didn't know me before that. And, like, Abby said that her dad had said to her, "Oh, like, I can't believe, like, you can just walk up there and do that." Because even obviously
everyone else in the world finds it fucking terrifying.
I know, right?
But because we started so young, like, jumping up on that stage, grabbing a microphone and being like, oh, okay, it's time for your nifty 50, all that shit, you know what I mean? Like, that's easy for me. Whereas the lad who works on the bar, he started as a caller.
Yeah.
He made it 2 weeks and he couldn't hack it. Fucking stopped doing it, started working on the bar. Jenny, the other girl who works on the bar, same thing, came on as a caller, couldn't hack it. Lewis in the kitchen, same thing, came on as a caller, couldn't hack it. Our manager, Martin, he's supposed to be doing the manager special. He's a nervous wreck every time he fucking comes up to try and do it, so I just do it. Like, there's most people in there have been asked to do this job or have been taken on specifically to do it and haven't been able to keep up with it or even bring themselves to get on the stage because of the stage fright of it all.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't have anything close to that barrier purely because of what we've done.
Yeah.
Like, there's opportunities available to us that aren't available to other people because of the confidence that we've built through being musicians, performing in front of
You
people.
know what's crazy though? I think back in the day when we used to gig loads, unless we were on like a run where we'd done like a bunch back to back to back, like I'd feel so fucking nervous, really.
I'd feel nervous while we were setting up.
And I'd like...
Setting up and packing down, I hated.
I think
the gig itself was fine.
I think I was very good at putting like a facade on.
Yeah.
Of like a bit of a fucking showman or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I actually hated it. When I think about it, because like before I did that first acoustic gig back, and I ain't gigged in like 2 years or whatever through COVID and stuff. I had said like, oh, I don't like gigging.
Yeah.
Like I came to the realization over COVID. I was like, I miss playing with me mates and I miss like wiling out and going crazy. But like I don't miss getting up in front of a group of people and trying to win them over, which is weird because that is literally my job now. And like I've come, like I'm fine with it now. Like I don't really get nervous to play. I get nervous if it's like maybe like a new venue that I've never been to and I'm not sure of the thing. But like I don't get nervous to play. But a weird thing has happened that I've noticed, right, with the fact that now I get up in front of people for a living. One, it has made me more confident.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I've done enough of these where they've gone.
A conversation will never be as difficult as a gig.
Yeah. And,
you know
and I was like, I've done enough of these where it's gone badly to know that like you don't die, you know, it's fine. But also, in the same respect, but like the other side of the coin, having to get up every weekend in front of people, knowing that they're judging you, there is a weird like neuroticism that comes with that. Like, it's equally made me more sure of myself and less sure of myself at the same time.
Because when you don't have a good one, you feel the worst. If I make a joke in that bingo and it doesn't get a laugh, I feel like shit. I hide behind the little screen, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyway, your next number out. You know what I mean? Whereas if I have a good day of it, if I'm on good form, even though it's just the bingo, you feel like the fucking king.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was a period where I would be gigging every weekend, like last year, and how my week went was completely determined on how those gigs went.
Yeah.
Like, I would have, if they went badly, all that next week, I'd be like, I'm wasting my life. I fucking hate doing this.
Yeah.
Like, gigging isn't for me. I'm not a good musician. This sucks.
Which is such a heavy mentality.
Yeah, it is. And like, I had to, you know what it was actually? I was listening to a fucking sports podcast and there was a rugby player on, and he was like, I had to learn to like be able to not let
leave work,
Saturday's result affect training for the rest of the week. Because if we lost, I'd show up and I'd be fucking moody for all the training sessions. He was like, I have to
just make
I play the game
harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You get worse and worse. Like, he was like, I play the game, I take the day off, and I come back with a new mentality for the next week, and that's just how you have to do it.
No, 100%. Like, say, like when I was in uni, right, we'd do presentations every so often. And one thing I noticed is that if it was a group presentation, I'd be stood there with lads who, and George was a different kettle of fish. That lad has got so much fucking confidence that I could rely on him for any fucking slide. You know what I mean? He doesn't even need to have read it. He'll look at it, he'll make a load of shit up, we'll get it first. You know what I mean? But like everyone else, I'd be reading from the notes, or and then and you know what I mean, doing all that shit, or like just getting dead red in the face. They'd go quiet, they'd look down, all that kind of stuff. And I'd notice that I'd feel those same emotions, but because I had memories to draw on, I could get them to go away.
Right.
So like it'd be about to be my turn. The stakes are high. You know what I mean? My grades matter for this. And I'm presenting to fucking a board of 3 people that I've never met before, and they are experts. They'll know if I'm fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And I'd get nervous. And then one of 2 things had come into my head because I was doing a lot of Thai boxing at the time. So either I'd just visualise myself at a gig, and I'd be like, that's harder than this. Or I'd visualise myself in the corner getting ready to spar. I'd be like, well, that's harder than this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this isn't as hard as getting punched in the face. and I'd do that.
Yeah.
And this isn't as hard as getting up in front of fucking however many people. I don't know, I was never counting. It would have been depressing. But like this is not as hard as that first gig that I did. And I did that and it was fine.
Yeah.
So fucking pick your chin up and you know, get that blood out of your face and fucking start.
And eventually
start talking in it, you know what I mean?
And like I'm sure you get this when you get on stage now with the bingo. It's like you don't even think about the fact that you're getting in front of people. Like I rock up to a venue now 15 minutes before I'm due on, and I just plug in and then I just start playing as if I just walked into here and sat down and picked the guitar up and started playing, you know what I mean? It has the same level of like...
The more times you do it, the easier it gets. And that's the case with anything. Like, if there's one thing to be taken out of this as a life lesson, it is absolutely worth doing some kind of performing art at some point during your life, even if it's one fucking school play or, like, you know, just a really just
anything that makes you uncomfortable in that way, really. Even if it's just going up and talking to someone, like, if you're out, like, going and talking to new people or whatever, like, just trying to break down that social barrier of, like, people are judging me kind of thing.
Yeah, because you know what? People aren't judging you.
Yeah.
Like,
and if they are, it don't matter. You know?
People are only thinking about themselves most of the time. If they're not and they're thinking about you for a second, they'll forget.
Yeah.
I don't remember most of the people I've met in my life. I can't even remember the face of most people I've had a conversation with in my fucking life. Yeah. None of it matters.
I guarantee that the only people that remembers embarrassing or shit things that have happened to me at gigs is me. You know what I mean?
I don't remember one embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you on stage.
Yeah. Like if I have a bad gig...
You probably can't remember any of mine either.
No, exactly. Like, if I have a bad gig, the audience are going to go, oh, he was a bit shit, and then forget about me the next day. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because that's the thing. Like, if you're shit, they'll have no reason to remember you. You know what I mean? They only remember you if you're really fucking good, or if you're that bad that they go, oh my God, wasn't that bad. But still, they're not going to remember your fucking name. They'll just remember that there was a shit act on at that restaurant that they went to. You know what I mean?
Right.
It looks worse on the venue than it does you.
Yeah, that is true.
You know what I mean?
And venues always remember.
They don't forget.
Yeah, you will never play there again. What do you think of this? Because I think, to some degree, positive memories are kind of stronger than negative memories. Like, when I think of like my past, let's say my late teens and early 20s, which, like, mentally was kind of a bit of like a tumultuous time for me. I know that I was struggling a bit, but all the things that come to mind are like us having a sick time or like hanging out with your mates, like all of the good events that happened. And if you really think about it, you go like, oh yeah, like I was having a bit of a shit time, but like it's not as visceral of a feeling as like the joy and the excitement of like our youth.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, for me, easier to like recreate the feeling of something positive, like artificially in my own brain by just remembering the thing. Yeah. Like, I'll remember the thing and then I'll get the feeling with it. But I think that's partially because you're kind of more likely to remember bad things more times over, because you get stuck in, when something bad happens at first, you get stuck in it for a little while. And the way that memory works is you're not remembering the thing, you're remembering your last memory of the thing. So that's why you get that sort of memory distortion where over time things become a little bit more frazzly and a little bit more kind of, you know, like, I don't really remember what my granddad looked like with hair because all the photos of him in my nan's house are after he'd started chemo.
Right.
So I can remember what he looks like that really well because I can look at a photo of it.
Right.
So I can remember my last viewing of that photo, which was Christmas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas a memory of him taking me to the fucking Queen's Hall to watch wrestling,
Right.
like, I don't remember what he looked like there because the memory fades over time.
Yeah.
But with negative things, we fixate. So the feeling, I think, I find easier to dissipate over time. Like, when I think about Lewis now, I don't get that same core fucking feeling that I would have got at the time. But that's only because I've remembered it over and over and over and over and over again. And that's faded. Whereas, like, I don't sit there all the time thinking about Our Time in the Elephant. So when I do think about it,
right,
it's, oh my God, and now I remember all that joy that I felt as well.
Yeah, it's more
you know
fresh.
what I mean?
Like, yeah.
I might be wrong. I mean, I'm not a psychologist, but that's how it feels to me. Yeah.
Right, should we call it there? That's just been on all over the place episode.
It has been, but it's the end of the season, you know.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like when you're breaking up for school for Christmas.
Exactly.
And the last few days you don't do fuck all. Yeah. We've said all we needed to say is what is the important
This
thing.
has been a Fox News special alert.
It's been Cox News. So, yes, follow the new... subscribe to the new YouTube, follow the new socials. I'll put them all in the video description.
And most importantly...
I was going to say. I was going to say one more thing. I was just going to say, thanks to everyone that's listened to Strangers so far. If you don't already follow us, I'll put that in the description as well, just so you can hear the last few songs.
Yeah, all of our back catalogue and all of our socials and stuff, they're not going to go away. They're just not going to be active anymore.
Yeah. Like, Abby said to me when I was on about making a new Instagram and stuff for the pod, she was like, well, why don't you just turn the Strangers Instagram into it? And it's like, because I don't want to delete all of the Strangers shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's an archive. You know what I mean? You can go back to 2018 on that and see what we were doing, and that's sick. You know what I mean? So yeah, nice one. Season 1 out. We'll be back next month, probably with season 2 and some special guests.
Stay hungry, amigo. Bye. For now.